This wellness session is provided to you by the Contra Costa Health Services Wellness Team. Please contact CCHSWellness at cchealth.org if you have any questions. By viewing today's session, we hope to enhance self and mutual awareness, understanding, and appreciation of different wellness, well-being practices, and perspectives. The content I will provide today is based off of my lived experience, clinical experience, and research. In today's session, we'll be discussing pandemic retrospectives, recovery and resilience tools from a California Indigenous perspective. Presentation slides are available for your review. Machixis Kaningayasat Skye Innerarity. My name is Skye. I am a citizen of the Ion Band of Miwok Indians. I am also a licensed marriage and family therapist here in Sacramento, where I work with folks in a private practice setting. Let's go ahead and take a big, deep inhale in through our nose. Take in one extra sip of air and exhale out of our mouths, pushing out the last little bit of air. And let's get into today's presentation. So let's take a look at recovery and resilience. Recovery is often thought of in these very binary ways. Is it linear? Is it non-linear? Is it outcome focused? Is it process focused? Without going into too much detail here in our summary video, it is context dependent. Recovery is often more cyclical in nature. We have potential to have moments of linearity in our recovery process, but in the big picture, if we were to scale back, there are aspects of non-linearity in that healing is an ongoing process. Recovery is an ongoing process. Let's look at the operational definition of resilience together. So resilience is the process and outcome of successfully adapting to difficult or challenging life experiences, especially through mental, emotional, and behavioral flexibility and adjustment to external and internal demands. So a number of factors contribute to how well we adapt to adversity, including our individual views, the way we engage with the world, our availability and quality of social resources, and our own coping skills. So there are three things to keep in mind from a California Indigenous perspective. We have epistemology, which is our ways of knowing. We have ontology, which are our ways of being. And then we have axiology, or our ways of thinking. And we have these key points here of, what brings an Indigenous perspective to ways of knowing, ways of being, and ways of thinking. So I'll go ahead and let you pause here and get a little refresher on that. Going back to recovery and resilience tools, from a Western psychological perspective, we can look at recovery broken down into these core 10 principles. We have self-direction, individualized and person-centered, empowerment, holistic, nonlinear, strengths-based, peer support, respect, responsibility, and hope. These are 10 core principles that are a part of the recovery process according to the American Psychological Association. In terms of resilience, the American Psychological Association highlights 5 primary tenets of resilience. So building our connections, fostering wellness, finding purpose, embracing healthy thoughts, and seeking help. And part of what I would add here to seeking help is, professional help, going to experts outside of maybe our more accessible, individualized support network, right? So this takes us to our summary and takeaways. To the left, we have here the definitions and components of recovery and resilience. I'd like to spend a little bit more time focusing on self-care tips and practice and community care tips and practice. And of course, tips will come out of this question or these questions that we ask ourselves. First one being reflecting on the personal impact of the pandemic, psychological, physical, social, etc. How do I experience recovery and resilience? What do these experiences look and feel like? By asking ourselves this question, we can then look at what practice we have created. We can rework parts of that practice. We can trim parts of that practice, we can grow parts of that practice. And in doing so, we can give ourselves sustainable daily tips to live by. In terms of community question at hand, reflecting on the wide scale impact of the pandemic, psychological, physical, social, etc., what does recovery and resilience look like in my family, in my community, or my communities? What does it look like in the workplace? From there, we can ask ourselves this question of what are small, manageable ways to increase recovery and resilience practices, right? Because this isn't something that we just check off. This is something that we must tend to. This is more of a lifelong practice. By viewing today's session, we hope we enhance self and mutual awareness, understanding, and appreciation of different wellness, well-being practices, and perspectives. The content I provided today is based on my lived experience, clinical experience, and research. This wellness session has been provided to you by the Contra Costa Health Services Wellness Team. Please contact CCHSWellness at cchealth.org if you have any questions. Thank you for your time.